This is Ryan from MMA Viking, and I'm here with Magnus Cedenblad at Pancras Gym in Stockholm. Magnus just finished up an hour and a half wrestling session and just taking a few minutes out to catch up with one of Sweden's most popular fighters. How are you doing, Magnus?
I'm fine. You?
Good, good.
Nice.
First, gosh, so many topics. The first topic I want to talk to you about, I just tweeted about it, is MMA Viking came out with its Nordic Rankings.
Yeah, I shouldn't even be on this.
But let's talk about this, because I did have a conversation about it, and just want to talk about your 10-3. You're on a 7-fight win streak.
Yeah.
I think right now we have you ranked 6.
All right. I wasn't even on the ranking, so I don't know.
Well, it's 1 through 5, and then you're the first name after.
All right.
So,
thank you.
You're 6. And I just want to ask you first about your last fight, maybe before we talk about your whole record. But you actually had some time off. You fought last April in Superior Challenge, and then just came back. Maybe can you?
No, I didn't.
You didn't fight a Superior Challenge.
Oh, amateur.
We'll cut this. Maybe you can just talk about your last fight with Edwards.
Dan
Edwards.
Yeah.
The Fight for Change, which just happened, which you finished with the submission. But maybe you could talk about that fight and kind of your comeback.
Yeah, but it felt really good. You know, I think I went to another level in that fight. I felt really calm. My mental game got a little bit better, so I developed a lot, and also my stand-up felt really good, and I felt really relaxed. And yeah, it was just a good fight. You know, I didn't do any mistakes. It was just spot on all the time, so it felt really good actually. I'm really satisfied with that fight. You know, he had 15 fights. You know, so he was not an amateur. So it felt really good. You know, it felt really nice.
Good. Moving forward here, you have a 7-fight win streak. Do you have any thoughts on an upcoming bout? Has there been any discussions or any plans?
No, not really. I'm waiting for. We see what happens this spring. We see what happens. You know, we have some discussion with different promotion, but yeah. We will wait and see, you know. Everything knows what's coming, so we see what happens.
Yeah, obviously the elephant in the room is the UFC coming soon. No official date, but I think all the top Nordic fighters are kind of trying to have conversations, and I think your winning streak puts you as a possibility for that card and agreement. But no other fights have been signed or agreed to yet.
No, not yet.
Okay. I want to talk to you. I think everyone in Sweden knows you very well. I think you have one of the most popular blogs on MMA Nytt that you update and give insights on everything that's going through your head or things that are happening underneath regarding going to your doctors. You're very open, which makes it a very entertaining blog. But I think the highlight of kind of the entertainment is when you went to Vegas last year for the Ultimate Fighter tryouts. Yeah. Talk a little bit about that experience and what you gained and some of your memories from that.
Yeah, but it was a really good experience. Yes, especially as being in that tryout, see how many fighters there is. You know, it was just crazy. You know, it was welterweight and middleweight, and still it's like 300 people, and you need like 4 professional fights. You need to be over 23 or something, and there's like loads of fighters. You know, it's a lot of fighters out there who want to make it. So that made me motivated. You know, you need to train harder, you need to train smarter, you need to train with better people all the time, just evolve your game and getting better. So it was a good experience. You know, it went well. You know, when I looked at people there was some wrestling, but I don't think they are that technical. You know, when I went around to different gyms as well, and I'm not that impressed. You know, people always say, oh, that's American, that's a UFC fighter, but honestly, you know, just because they're in the UFC, it doesn't mean they're better than us. Or that's a lot of what people think. Oh, he's from America, you know, he's a really good fighter, you know. It doesn't matter, you know. I think, look at Sweden, we're a really small country, but we have so many good fighters coming up right now, and I think we we are more technical than them. They have more money, of course, so it's easier for them to train, and they don't need to work at the same time and stuff like that. So I think that's the big difference. So it was a good experience for me. I learned a lot, and I really get me motivated, you know.
Great. Last question. As I was mentioning, I went to your Superior Challenge 2 fight, which was actually over 2 years ago. Maybe 3 years ago, and now, and you've really changed physically. I know you're working with Omni 4 on some conditioning. Can you speak just a bit about what they've done to help you and kind of how you've kind of gotten your training and nutrition to a different level?
Yeah, definitely. You know, the training is so big difference now. You know, it's like they put everything up for me, like strength training, cardio training, speed, agility, everything. They just put it together in a really good way before fights and stuff like that. So they really developed my physical cardio and my appearance at all, you know. They made so much for me. It's a big difference. I feel so much stronger, I feel faster, I have better cardio than ever. It's just, it's really good for me. It's a big difference, you know. I can say I think I fought in 90 kilos there as well when you looked at me.
Yeah, okay.
You know, when I started, I can talk about my first fight. That's a fun thing, you know. My first fight when I went to Finland, my trainer asked me, and he's in a wheelchair, so he didn't fight at the time. So I think he'd been fighting before, but I think a lot has changed since he was fighting, because he was like, yeah, Magnus, what's your weight? And I was smaller then. I was 90 kilos. I was like, yeah, I'm 90 kilos. And he's like, oh, that's brilliant, man. I got a fight for you in Finland, 95 kilos. And I was like, oh, cool, man. That's easy for me to make, you know. I didn't even understand that weight class, because I come from golf and tennis. That's my sport, you know. So I didn't know that you could have a diet, you know. So I was like 90 kilos. Yeah, I remember I went with Bobby eating a McDonald's and having clothes on, put on a scale with my jacket on, 92.5 or something. I was like, yeah, that's cool. And out come this Finnish guy from the sun. I was like, oh my God, look at him. And I remember, I think it was, another sucker, Peter he was called. And he was like, I think that's your opponent. I was like, nah, it can't be. He's too big. And he was on the scale. He was swinging and finished, then went back to the sauna. I was like, who's that? And they're like, that's your fighter. I was like, really? He's huge. And they're like, yeah, he walks around at 110. I was like, 110? But it's 95 kilos. Yeah, he diet and cuts in the sauna. I was like, sauna? Cuts? What are you talking about? You know, it was no, but honestly, you know, people say I'm stupid, but I didn't know. Nobody told me. You know, UFC was not on television by then. I didn't even download. I watched maybe 1, 2, 3 UFC or something like that. So it was not as big as it is right now. You know, it's just the last maybe 2 years is just going right up in Sweden. You know, everybody looking at it. Everybody knows what UFC is now. Not everybody, but a lot of people knew what MMA is. But back then I was like, oh, and the next fight, it was the same. I was 90 kilos and he was 90. It takes some time for me to understand, you know. I was just continue. And then I talked about maybe I also should do that sauna thing. And then I went down a little bit to 88. I started at, and then I started. Now I'm heavier than before, and still I make 84. So it's a big difference, you know. That's made a lot of difference, you know. Now I'm big in my weight class instead of 5 kilos under.
I think that helps to explain. I think anyone looking at your record in your last 11 bouts, you won 10 out of 11, but you started your career with two losses in Finland, and I wanted to ask you about them. I couldn't find them on YouTube, so it sounds like you were fighting a couple weight classes outside of where you should have been.
It was definitely, you know, I was younger then as well. It was like 4 years ago, something like that.
2007.
4 years ago, so I was much smaller then as well, you know. I could make it now. Now I could fight 93 kilos, 95 kilos, but back then I was 90 kilos, so it was not even close, you know. But nobody told me, you know. They asked me, what's your weight? 90. Oh, good, we have a fight for you. And I was like, yeah, I like fighting. That was, you know, that's something I miss, you know, because now it's so serious, you know. You have to do a press conference, you have to do this, when we started out, you know, I went like my first year, I think I had like 11, 12 fights in 1 year. Like amateur, we went in the car in the morning down to Malmö, just get out of the car, 1 hour to fight, put on the clothes, and where is the guy? Oh, there he is, bam, 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 and then went home with the car. It was just, that was fun, you know, I missed that. That was fighting for me. Now it's everybody get kicked out, and you have to perform, you have to think about your record, you know, and stuff like that. And I also do it, you know. You need to. It's your work now, you know. Before it was just fun fighting.
Great. I want to thank you, Magnus. Is there something?
It's an honor.
Oh, it's an honor, Magnus, to interview you today at Panker's Gym.
Thank you very much.
Reporting for MMA Viking. Hej då.
Hej då.